They do it all.
Burke seemed to have an affinity for the X-rated. But what we found out from Rob Trotta took Burke's proclivities to a sickening new level.
When's the next time you either heard something or encountered him?
Well, that's an interesting story. That is probably one of the most interesting stories I have in my 25 years in law enforcement. I can tell you where I was. I was on Jericho Turnpike in Center Ridge. The road was closed. I don't know if it was a robbery or a car accident. And this sergeant comes up to me from the 1st Precinct and says, Trot, I heard about you. You're a heavy hitter. You know, you lead the county in arrests. I look at your numbers. I want you to work for me one day, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't know who the guy was in the hole. And then the next conversation was the most shocking conversation maybe I've had my entire life. He asked me if I could get him a snuff film. Now, at the time, I didn't know what a snuff film was. And I go, what's a snuff film? And he went on to describe to me in graphic detail what a snuff film was. That, you know, it's when you're having sex with a woman and you made a hand, like you blow her head off or you kill her, and her body responds in a physiological way that pleasures you. And he went into, you know, pretty graphic detail about what a woman does, what a person does when they're dying. And I said, no, Sarge, I don't. And I just walked away.
We learned of another instance involving snuff films that painted Burke in an equally perverse light.
We do have a police officer who has told us that they were watching this snuff film apparently for police purposes. Burke was present during the observation of the snuff film, and this police officer walked out in disgust because Chief Burke was giggling hysterically at what was going on in the snuff film. And that's a pervert. That's a really sick dude.
Publicly, Burke could look you in the eye. You think he was the greatest thing in the whole world. But privately, he was a totally different person. And I know that from personal experience and from what other people would tell me. I mean, it was, you know, he was a psychopath. And there's not a doubt in my mind, you know, but clearly there's something wrong.
With a personality and stature like Burke's, it's not surprising that no one would dare to call him out on his bad behavior.